In academic writing, we seek to make our documents well edited. We may accurately claim that well-edited writing is critical to a high-quality final writing product. If the task at hand is to assure your paper is well edited, a good place to start is with editing targets. These include the following: grammar, rules regarding how words are put together in sentence; usage, the collective habits of groups of language users; and mechanics, the rules regarding punctuation, spelling, numbers, and other technical matters. At any given period of modern history, the editors of the Chicago Manual of Style, since 1906 an authoritative style and citation guide, the editors observed that many of the linguistic issues we face in a diverse society are related to, well, matters of grammar, usage, and mechanics. The ways we attend to rules and discard them will remain a central topic in the Academy as we continue to focus on relationships among English language learning, language use, dialect, and tradition. What can be agreed on is that writing involves attention to detail, and the more we know about the rules governing such detail and how these rules vary by audience, the better for writers. Regarding best practices, we can do well to follow 3 evidence-based reminders when it comes to English conventions. First, the study of error is an important part of learning to write. We all make errors, and it often takes an army of copy editors to produce the perfect text we see printed in our textbooks. The more errors we make, the more we learn to recognize those errors, and the better writers we become. Second, we learn about English conventions by studying how our own language works in various contexts. A contraction, such as can't, may work wonderfully in a blog post, but it is unlikely to work well in a formal academic argument. The more we learn about works and various writing genres, the better we can understand written conventions. And third, learning about conventions is not a mere skill, nor is it a lower order cognitive ability. The Chicago Manual of Style runs 1,026 pages, and skimming it provides more than a set of rules. In reality, books such as the Manual of Style reveal that knowledge of conventions is a window to how cultures are created, evolve, and interact. There's nothing lower order about that. Now, a useful strategy in developing your knowledge of conventions is to follow a process of targeted editing. Targeted editing does not try to do everything at once. Rather, the strategy of targeted editing focuses on a phased approach to conventions involving sticky issues involving gum. You might begin by asking yourself about the errors you usually make. Once you know these, you can then usefully target them for revision. If you're unsure, for example, about comma use after an introductory sentence element, you can work up the rules for comma use in that case and then search your own writing for possible errors. Second, you might ask if the writing assignment at hand introduced the occasion for new errors. Research tells us, as writing assignments shift across courses, new errors can crop up. In writing about the Estates and the French Revolution, for example, you may have to consider whether that classification is singular or plural before you select an accompanying verb. Finally, you may want to consider what your expanding knowledge about new and known conventions reveals about settings and language use. Why is it, you may ask, that one convention works for one audience but is unwelcome for another? Use of the imperative verbs such as record the barometric pressure will not work well in an academic essay. Focusing on verb use reveals a great deal about the direction and replicative emphasis of laboratory work that is necessary for the progress of science. In developing your knowledge of English conventions, reflection, often called metacognition, should accompany rules. The more you reflect about your knowledge of conventions, the more you see others use these conventions, the better your writing will become. As shown in this feedback demo, you're encouraged to use a phased targeted editing approach. The software identifies possible errors and conventions of English for further review. This is the first part of the editing phase. Now, in this example, as the demo shows, consideration is given to comma use and subject-verb agreement issues, exactly the occasions for editing identified before, as the use of comma after an introductory element and rules governing verb agreement with collective nouns. As the demo illustrates, you can learn more by clicking on these hyperlinks provided that will take you to additional information about English convention rules. A well-edited manuscript assures your readers that you have taken care not to introduce distractions that will draw the reader away from your ideas. Well, we'll put more positively. Well-edited writing allows both the form of your writing and the content of your ideas to merge seamlessly together.